Boom. What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a brewery that I don't think I've ever had anything from these guys before. They're out of, they're a North Carolina brewery. I've had some beers out of North Carolina. I know there's been a few breweries that I've been able to check out, but this is one that I have yet to kind of share my opinion on, so I'm pretty excited. These guys have 3 locations over there. I believe one was in, let's see, Asheville, Raleigh, and Charlotte, I think. So they're pretty all over North Carolina. They kind of put a name for themselves out there. And today we're going to be taking a look at their Gang of Blades double IPA. And it's just, so Burial Beer Co. has 3 locations. They've kind of started back in 2013 when they opened like a single barrel operation when it comes to them moving up to, because I believe they're from New Orleans, and then they kind of moved to Seattle, kind of found their love of craft beer when it comes to the Washington beer scene, and then found their homes in Asheville, North Carolina. So they kind of experimented, and they've kind of grown like a small empire over there, which I can always appreciate, knowing that they've kind of fell in love with the different states' beer scene, and kind of like, we wanted to create a beer scene of our own over in Asheville, North Carolina, and then they've started something pretty cool out there. So I'm pretty excited for this one. This one is, I think this comes in at 8.3% ABV. Yeah, 8.3% with, they loaded a bunch of hops in this one, so I'm excited. Let's see, we got some Citra, El Dorado, Idaho 7, and Centennial, which are all kinds of hops that work really well together. Plus, they kind of did some other things with it when it comes to using like the incognito and cryo methods when it comes to how their hops is being added to it. So I'm pretty excited. Then, of course, double dry hopping, it always just makes it that much better, making that kind of more hoppier bite, where this one's, I think, is going to kind of bring out some really good, like, there's going to be a lot of citrus, a lot of pine, along with some nice, like, tropical fruit notes and maybe the Idaho 7 will kind of bring in a little bit of, like, stone fruity, melony kind of notes as well, because those are kind of characteristics that Idaho 7 brings out as well. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've never had anything from Burial Beer Co., and knowing that I get to try a brand new brewery and kind of possibly add them to my list of breweries that I really, really enjoy is kind of a cool thing. So I'm hoping these guys kind of live up to it, because they have a lot of beers. From looking at their like Burial Beer Co.'s like home Untapped page, they have over 1,000 beers that they've made. So let's see if this one is good enough to kind of make these guys on the list of breweries to keep an eye out for. We'll see. But let's crack this guy open and see what this thing's all about. Oh yeah, holy, yep, you're getting the citrus right away. Getting that strong, like, kind of very hard citrus note on the nose. Definitely getting like a little bit of a pininess coming through. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be just hops in your face, and I'm excited because I love me a good old double IPA. So, going to be drinking out of my Fibs, land of drinking, kind of my IPA glass is what I like to call it. But let's see how this guy pours. Expecting like a nice kind of bright orange, maybe almost close to like an orange juicy kind of thing going. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's a really nice color. I'm expecting like maybe a nice pillowy mouthfeel along with those nice kind of tropical fruit notes. We have a nice pillowy head coming through there, which just looks absolutely delicious. Yeah, kind of getting close to that orange juicy kind of color, I think. Nice soft white head on there. But yeah, it looks absolutely delicious if I say so myself. That looks really, really good. Oh yeah, definitely getting maybe a little bit of like a stone fruity kind of, maybe notes of passion fruit. Maybe I'm trying to think of other stone fruits that could add. Maybe peach in there. That's coming from maybe the Idaho 7 or something like that, because that brings off a lot of stone fruity kind of notes to it. Yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's give this guy a try. So, cheers everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh yeah. Really, really juicy mouthfeel. Definitely getting like, I'm surprisingly getting more of like a vegetal flavor than I thought I would. Maybe that's a lot of like the more of the pininess coming through for a lot of these hops, because a lot of these hops in here bring off nice some tropical fruit notes and citrusy notes, but they also have a lot of strong like resiny pine notes that kind of give off dank kind of notes. Don't mind the light flickering being annoying, but yeah, really, really good. Has a nice vegetal sweetness to it almost. Maybe it might be adding to like malt, that little bit of a malty sweetness in there. The tropical kind of notes are there. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's the most predominant. I think the most predominant flavor I'm getting out of this is more of that piney vegetal kind of thing going on. But I think it's done pretty well. It's not too overpowering on the citrus. It's not too overpowering on like the kind of stone fruit, tropical fruit notes in here. It's pretty well balanced, and it just overall, yeah, it's a delicious double IPA for sure. Yeah, pillowy, soft mouthfeel. Not really oily whatsoever. But yeah, this is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So let's look over here on Untappd. And if you can't get your hands on anything from Burial Beer Co., of course, Untappd always puts down what they consider similar beers to this. So let's look here. So we got a couple from Treehouse Brewing Company. I wonder where they're at. So let's look. If I'm getting 3 from Treehouse Brewing Company. These guys are out of Charlton, Massachusetts, maybe? Okay, so they suggest a lot of Massachusetts beer. So we got the King Julius from Treehouse. Let's see. We got the Very Hazy from Treehouse, and then we got the Very Hazy Guava from Treehouse. So let's see what that Very Hazy looks like. So it definitely has those kind of characteristics a little bit. Fluffy mouthfeel, okay. Yeah, so that might be one. It's an 8.8, so that might be one be pretty close. Let's see. We got one called Ojo from Bakes Brewing Company. And then we got one called In the Drink with Idaho 7 from Red Dragon Brewery. So let's see. Okay, so it's like one of their variants of their In the Drink. So it's probably their IPAs that they kind of play around with. Where now they just did a small batch of an Idaho 7 kind of double IPA. So that's... Okay, so it has Simcoe, Citra, and Idaho 7. So yeah, I think that'd be a pretty close kind of situation with the In the Drink with Idaho 7. But I'm thinking some of these very hazy ones from Treehouse. Maybe let's see what this Ojo looks like. Let's see, I'll think, because this one, the Ojo from Bakes Brewing Company, is definitely a more citrusy forward, which is this isn't it. So I'm either going to go with the Very Hazy from Treehouse. That might be a good similar one, or the In the Drink with Idaho 7 from Red Dragon. So yeah, if you can get your hands on any of those, you might have a similar experience to what you would be getting out of this. But let's look here. Before we kind of get off what the average ratings are and kind of what more about this stuff, let's read a description of this thing. So this jagged wheel has met its limit, tooth after tooth removed until left for dead by felled timber. This tattered metal is a reminder of its pithy presence. A gang is a welcome shield and fortune for this daring blade. This clan knows no boundaries and beckons your test. Crack this can and meet your gang. A cadre of resinous American hops led by Citra, Eldorado, Idaho 7, and Centennial. This double IPA ale is brewed with barley and wheat. Of course, those are main ingredients in a beer. Dosed with incognito and cryo. Fermented with our house yeast blend and double dry hop for maximum intensity. Rescue yourself from the utter redundancy. Find your gang. So yeah, pretty much telling a little bit of story, kind of adding into like what I think it's more of like an homage to maybe like Lumberjacks, I'm assuming, because they're talking about blades and all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming that this is like an homage to Lumberjacks in a kind of situation, but the can art kind of has that almost post-apocalyptic kind of Mad Maxy kind of feel to it, which I think is pretty cool. It definitely has like a different style of, because if you've seen like the Death of Civilizations, all that stuff, those kind of have like a Mad Maxy kind of feel, but this has like an older, like a more old-fashioned kind of vibe to it. Definitely the drawing is a different style. Kind of has that old Nordic kind of picture kind of thing you would get out of like a nice descriptive book or something like that. And then you got that on that side, and then you get something a little bit different on the other side, where it's like drapes, skulls, all kind of stuff. There's a lot of detail on this, which I could always appreciate. So, which I think is really cool. Really, really cool. So, let's look here. On Untappd, there's going to be a little bit differences when it comes to what the ratings and stuff are in here. So, let's see. Like I said, it's an 8.3%. But on Untappd, it says it's a 43 IBU. When on the can itself, it says it's a 55 IBU. So, they may have done a little bit more IBUs on this batch. And with over 19,169 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.06 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. Having almost 20,000 ratings and having that average rating of a 4, I think is still pretty damn solid. So, let's see. Okay, so there's a couple different, it's a different vintage of the original Gang of Blades, but So looking here, this one's a little bit. So it's not their token Gang of Blades. This is the 2021, which I'm looking at here. So let's see. Yeah, so this one shows the 55 IBU. So this is the one. So a lot of people checked in the regular Gang of Blades, which you gave it that 19,000 kind of almost rating. But this one with the Gang of Blades 2021, let's see, 289 ratings with an average rating of 4.16. So that's still pretty damn good. And of course, I'm looking at friends to see who checked this one. And of course, you got my father who checked it in, gave it a 3.75 out of 5. But let's start going down the list and see what people had to say about this one. So let's see. This person gave it a 4 out of 5, purchased off Tavor. Let's see, what else we got here? Let's see, we got another 4 out of 5 purchased at the Traven's Pub and Wine Bar. Where is that? I'm curious. That's in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, so you can possibly get it out in Pennsylvania a little bit. Let's see, this person gave it another 4 out of 5. Let's see, a 4.25. Let's see, another 4. Same place as the other one. Let's see, another 4, 4.25. This person purchased it at Burial Beer Co., which is a building bitterness with an earthy note, has a heaviness on the palate without being a heavy beer. Juicy citrus up front, dry ending. Not my fave from these guys, but still well above average. Yeah, I would definitely agree. It's definitely an above average beer, and it's definitely more complex than you would think. Like I said, it's definitely not the best double IPA I've had, but it's still pretty damn solid. So let's see, another 4.25. Let's see what else we got here. 4.25. So yeah, pretty good ratings on this one. So I wonder how it would kind of balance out if the people who checked in the 2021 actually checked it in on the 2021 instead of doing it on the regular Gang of Blades. But let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing on ratings for this guy. Of course, can art is always a thing. So I showed you guys the can art earlier. I really like that kind of old school kind of art to it. It kind of sucks that you can't save it because it's that kind of heat shrink kind of stuff you would see on a can and not just like a seal, like a pasted on label. I like the story. I love just the overall. There's not really, it's not, I wouldn't say it's gory, but there's a lot of detail with just what they did on the characters on here. A lot of detail on the characters, along with kind of showing detail on the blades. There's a lot of saw blades on here. So having that kind of lumberjack homage kind of situation, I think is pretty damn cool. Let me see. So the illustrated is done by David Paul Seymour. So that's pretty cool that they gave notice to the artist who did this. So that's really, really cool. But overall, yeah, really, really solid can art. I give this one probably a solid 4.25 out of 5. Really, really like it. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to save this can art, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. And let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at Burial Beer Co., would I get another one? I probably would, to be honest. It's good. It's good enough. Like I said, it's an above average double IPA. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there with some of the better double IPAs that I've had. Like I said, it's a very more upfront, like vegetal, piney flavor, along with having those like kind of back notes of the stone fruit and the citrus and the kind of other like fruitier notes coming out of the back end, so they wouldn't make it so predominant. But overall, it's still pretty damn solid, I would say. Definitely really good. So I think my final rating on this guy is going to be a very, very solid 7.75 out of 10. Pretty damn solid. If you can get your hands on this Gang of Blades, I don't think it's available at the brewery right now. I know it's not available at the Asheville location because I looked on their to-go and, of course, what they have on draft. So if you ever see this one come through again in that area, they probably, of course, distribute all the way to Pennsylvania, probably down to South Carolina as well. Just keep an eye out for it. If you're in North Carolina and you like some pretty solid IPAs, Burial Beer Co. definitely has a variety of beers that can probably tickle anybody's fancy when it comes to what style of beer you're in for. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. So, big shout outs to Burial Beer Co. for coming out this one. Solid job with this. But other than that, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button too, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know when I ever go live, do another review. And if you want to see more of a social media aspect of beer drinking, possibly get rewards to possibly get your hands on stuff from Tavor,
Untapped is always the main place I tell people to go to when it comes to social media for beer drinkers. It's really, really cool. It's available on Android or iPhone. You can also use the desktop version, where you can just check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. There's different situations to where you'll get possible rewards kind of situation to where you'll get discounts on apps like Tavor and all that kind of stuff. So you just gotta go on there, of course, create an account. You can link it to your Facebook, of course, if you want to shoot me a friend request. Link to my profile is down in the description below for you guys. But other than that, yeah, if you want to possibly get your hands on some more stuff from Barrel Beer Co., Tavor definitely has them, because that's how I got this one. So you got to keep an eye out of what stuff that they're dropping me, of course, with the new update that Tavor has had, to where if you see anything from Barrel Beer Co. show up on there, and you may not be interested on that specific one, you could just give them a follow, and they'll make sure to show every beer that they have from that brewery to show up on your list. So it's a really, really cool thing they're doing over there right now. But other than that, that is pretty much it. So thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. And I'm going to end it like I always end it before we get the hot here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.